Hello YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Vanessa. So I'm finally back. Sorry I've been MIA. It's just like life is always crazy, but it's been extra crazy with the whole pandemic and everything. Well, first of all, I apologize for looking crazy. I don't have any concealer on, just base. We'll get to that in a second. I need to stop talking with my hands. Anyways, I do apologize for being super MIA. I have been pretty consistent, sort of. More consistent than I was in the past, I believe, on Instagram and especially TikTok. If you guys aren't following me on those sites, please do so now. I will put my username on the screen. I have the same username for both socials. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun doing short tutorials on TikTok, so I definitely recommend you guys check those out. I know that we're living through some pretty scary times right now. I honestly can't believe that any of this stuff is going on right now. It's real. I feel like I'm in like a game and the person playing my character has lost all control. I do hope that all of you and your loved ones are staying safe. I was actually thinking of doing a get ready with me and like expanding on my thoughts on this whole pandemic situation that's going on right now. Let me know if you guys would like to see that. I don't know. I wish all of you guys the best with your health and financially, because I know that financially these are some super scary times. Like, it's super scary health-wise and super scary financial wise. But yeah, I'm wishing you guys so much strength, so much love. I hope that I can distract you today with my video. Today I will be talking about the ELF Camo Concealer Sponge. So it's this baby right here. I actually got this about a month ago and I've been meaning to film with it. I haven't even used it because I wanted to use it for the first time on camera, so that this could be like a super honest first impressions. So I heard I Love Seti raving about this sponge, saying that it makes her under eye concealer look super flawless, and I want to see just how true that is. This sponge does retail for $5 and I got it at Ulta. What else? Oh, this is latex free. I'm gonna read you guys like some of the info on the back of the packaging. Introducing the Camo Concealer Sponge, the perfect sponge to complement the Camo Concealer. This sponge was specially designed to perform best with this concealer. The dual pointed ends easily fit into the hard to reach areas of the face, allowing for a flawless application. Directions: dampen sponge and squeeze out excess water. Apply concealer to face. Use sponge to blend and bounce to perfection. Best when used damp. So I do have the Hydrating Camo Concealer, which I'm going to be using today. So I want to do a test of this on the Camo Concealer and on a like regular non-ELF concealer to see if there's any difference. Oh, also, if you guys are interested, I do have a review on the ELF Hydrating Camo Concealer. I will link that down below. Spoiler alert, I really like it. It's a beautiful concealer. And for $6, like, girl. But yeah, let's get it started. But yeah, let's take this out the box so we can actually see what it looks like, because I didn't even do that. So this is what the sponge looks like. It's so weird. I've never seen a sponge like this. I don't know how to describe. Oh my gosh, I was gonna say I don't know how to describe the shape, but this looks like a really big almond. It really does. Bleep boop. Sorry. Alright, so it is pretty small. Once dry, we're gonna wet it and see how much it expands. But before I do that, I would like to point out the little corners, the pointy corners. I really like those for the inner corner, so that's quite nice. Okay, so here she is wet. It does get bigger, but it's not like super big. That's why I didn't want to do my base makeup with this. I like a bigger sponge for my face. So for example, actually, this is the sponge I used on my face. This is the Morphe Highlight and Contour Sponge. And actually, they're pretty much like the same height, but with the Morphe one is much wider and fatter, which I like for my face. I don't think I would feel comfortable doing my face with this one because of the shape. I thought it would be because of the size, but because of the shape, because after you wet it, it gets pretty decent size. And you know something, this has a weird like feeling. It feels like the foam rollers from back in the day. Did you guys ever have any of those? That's what it feels like. All right, so what I'm gonna do is on this side, I'm gonna be applying the ELF Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Medium Beige. And then on this side, I'm gonna be applying the Dose of Colors Concealer in the shade 17. These concealers are definitely not the same shade. The dose of colors is way brighter. Well, I mean, on camera they look the same, but in person the dose of colors is brighter, and the ELF is more peachy. But whatever, we're still gonna compare the sponge with both of these non-matching concealers. Okay, so first impressions, I like that I can get this get the concealer in the inner corners of the eye without messing up my eyeshadow because of the pointed tip of the sponge. But I honestly feel like this shears out the coverage of the concealer. I'm gonna add a little more. Okay, so even though it does shear out the concealer, the application is flawless. Definitely looks amazing. I do have to say this is really soft. I would say it's comparable to the Beauty Blender as far as feel goes. The Morphe sponge that I usually use is much more dense, which I prefer, but I'm not mad at this. Okay, again, it does shear out the coverage of the concealer. Okay, this side looks just as nice as well. Honestly, I'm not noticing like any special difference between this and the Morphe sponge that I already use. What I am really liking is mainly the size and shape of this for the under eye. I think that this is going to be perfect for setting the under eyes. That's what I'm going to do now. So to set my under eyes, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Peach Perfect Mattifying Loose Setting Powder. This is actually a sample, and I just used this the other day for the first time and accidentally got some of it in my mouth, and it tasted so good. I'm sorry, I just needed to share that information. And it also made my skin look flawless, so I mean that's a plus, but you know, you could eat it too. Let me stop. I'm not saying I don't know if it's edible, but it tastes good. Anyways. Okay friends, so I really enjoyed using the sponge to set my under eyes. Actually, I think I enjoyed it more for setting than for actually blending out my concealer. But I'm gonna finish my face off camera and then I'll be back with my final thoughts on this sponge. All right, you guys, I'm back. If you guys are interested in this look, I do have a TikTok tutorial on it. So remember, I've said it like a million times already, but follow me on there. So I want to share with you guys my final thoughts on the ELF Camo Concealer Sponge. Did I notice a huge difference between this sponge and my Morphe sponge that I usually use for my under eyes? Absolutely not. That doesn't mean this is a bad sponge. It's a nice sponge. It's nothing remarkable. I shouldn't say nothing remarkable because your under eye concealer does blend nicely, but I just prefer my Morphe one because it's more dense, so it doesn't shear out the coverage of my concealer. However, is this something I would continue to repurchase? Yes, it is, because I absolutely loved it for my under eye setting powder. I loved it for that. Just for the concealer was nothing special. Again, I really love the shape and the size. But yeah, those are pretty much my final thoughts. It's not a bad sponge, just I prefer other ones. However, when it comes to setting the under eye, I do prefer the sponge over the Morphe one. But like I said a million times, for blending, I prefer the Morphe because it does not shear out the coverage. But yeah, that is it for this first impressions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll see you guys next time.